Hello guys, welcome to Beckruffs Glamour. Today I'll be taking us on how to draft a shirt pattern. Measurements needed will be shown on the screen. If you're new to my channel, kindly subscribe and turn on the notification button so as to be notified when a new video comes up. So first thing I'll be doing on my pattern paper, I'll be marking out 2 inches or 2.5 for my button allowance. Like you see me doing over there. So I'll be going for with 2 inches. Then I'm marking up my blouse length, the shirt length, which I want. I'm opting for 23 inches, like so. That's 23 inches. Now, the next thing I'll be doing is to take my shoulder divided by 2. Now, the shoulder, as you can see on the screen, I'm taking it from the 2 inches which I marked over there. Then I'm marking out my chest line like so. Now my chest line I added 0.5 ease allowance. I don't want it to fit tight, I want it to be a bit free on me, so I added 0.5 ease. So what I'm doing next is marking out my waistline of 15.5 inches. Now back to the chest line, I'll be taking my bust, cut out my bust divided by, that's my bust divided by 4 plus 0.5 ease, then 1 inch seam allowance. Like I said earlier on, I want it to be a bit free on me. That's why I added 0.5 ease allowance. Now on the waistline, the same thing I did at the chest line. So I'm going to be taking my waist measurement, cut out of it, that is my waist divided by 4 plus 0.5 ease, then 1 inch seam allowance. The same thing at the blouse length. I'm using my hip divided by 4 plus 0.5 is the 1 inch seam allowance. Now I'll be connecting those points together like so, as you see me doing. Now if you want it to be a bit free at the waistline, just minus 1 inch from whatever you have on the chest line and mark that out on the waistline. So for instance, if you have the total of 10 inches on the chest line minus 1, 9 inches is what you'll be marking out on the waistline. Now the same you're doing, I went up by 1 just to give it a fit, then I connected it back to I bended it back to my line, my blouse length. So what I'm doing there is moving in by half, just constructing my armhole like so. Now I'll be going down for my shoulder slope. I'll be marking out 2 inches. It's a shirt pattern. We don't use the normal basic bodice method. So from that 2 inches, I'm connecting back to my starting line like that. Like you see me doing, then I'm cutting out my pattern. Pattern. So the length of the shirt depends on you. You can make it as long as you like, depending on your preference. Now what I'm doing next here, I want to draft on the back pattern. So I'm folding in my 2 inches button allowance because there will be no button allowance at the back, no opening. The back is gonna be on fold. Now just place it like you see me doing on the screen like that. So I'm gonna be following that same shoulder slope which I have for the front like that, connecting it like so, connecting like that. Then I'm just gonna be using my masking tape to hold it down so as to make it stable. So I'm following that shape like that. Now don't forget we minus 2 inches from the front, which is gonna make the back 4 inches longer than the front. So what I'm doing is marking 4 inches like that, 4 inches. I'm gonna be rolling it out, then I'll replace my pattern, my front pattern on the 4 inches which I marked, and I'll be folding back that 2 inches which we took off, like you see me doing in the video. So cutting it out so I'll be able to blend it in well. So my 2 inches, I have my 2 inches folded like that, like so. Then I'm gonna be rolling out my chest line. I'm gonna be rolling it. So what I just did there is to retake my measurements, then I rolled it up like that, then reconnect my armhole. Now mind, the reason why we're doing this is because the back armhole is usually different from the front armhole. We went in by 0.5 at the front, but for the back, just measure the midpoint, then connect from your chest line back to that midpoint instead of going in by 0.5. So I'm going to be cutting out. I'm using the front pattern now to trace out the back, to cut out the back pattern like that. But this time around, I'll be following my armhole, the new armhole which I just created. And finally, guys, we're done with the front and back pattern of our shirts. In the next video, I'll show us how to cut out the neck, how to cut out the collar stand, and the sleeves. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.